Okay. And just I want to share one more information. This is regarding your this one internal exam. Okay, that will be starting from 2 to 4. Okay, you are having MCQ type questions. Okay, for exam, and the portion for your internal will be the module 1 and 2. Okay, you have to study all energy resources, and then the formation of steam at a constant pressure, the solar energy. Okay, and the module 2 mainly related to your the turbines, three types of turbines, and two pumps, reciprocating pump and centrifugal pump. You remember, this is the portion for your first internal. It is of MCQ type, remember, and two models will be, first two models will be there for your exam. Anyway, I'll put all this information in the group. Okay, now I'll start the session. Okay, I'll derive one more derivation. Okay. Okay, so this is in today's class. I'm going to derive the expression for the ratio of belt tension. You remember, in case of belt drive, we are having three derivation. One is the length of open belt drive, that we derived L equals to 2C plus pi into R1 plus R2 plus R1 minus R2 whole square divided by C. That is the equation for length of open belt drive. Okay, and second derivation what we did, it was the length of cross belt drive, that is L equals to 2C plus pi into R1 plus R2 plus R1 plus R2 whole square divided by C, where C is interdistance. So one more important derivation is there, that is called ratio of belt tension. Okay, as we discussed in the open belt drive, we are having two sides. One is tight side and one is loose side or slack side. Okay, we are going to find out what is the ratio T1 by T2. That is the meaning, ratio of belt tension. Okay, so here you observe the diagram carefully. Okay, so you observe the diagram. So this is your driven pulley. So one more they have not shown you here. We are having driver pulley. Okay, just you remember this T1 is what, tight side. Okay, means this we are having the driver pulley. Driver pulley draws the belt from the driven pulley and then circulates. Okay, it's like that we are having the structure, as in case of open belt drive. Remember, it is the open belt drive. So this is your driven pulley or follower, and here we are having the four forces. Okay, you remember, and you know, this one is slack side or loose side, and this is a tight side. Okay, so these are the forces acting, and you have to angle theta and angle delta theta. I'll tell the exact meaning here. Okay, what are the things? Okay, consider a flat belt drive. Let T1 is force or tension on the tight side of the belt, and T2 is tension on the loose side of the belt, and theta is the arc of contact between belt and pulley. Okay, you remember these three sides. First one is T1 is the force acting on tight side of the belt. Here we are having driver pulley. Okay, T2 is whatever the force acting on the loose side of the belt. Okay, and theta, it is called as, you see the diagram, theta is the arc of contact between the belt and the pulley. So it is the arc of contact. You remember, theta is the arc of contact between your pulley and belt. Okay, that is the theta. Okay, next now let us consider one small element. Okay, you see the dotted line here. Let us consider one small element PQ. Okay, of this belt drive, and the angle is delta theta for this element. We are not considering the entire element. We are taking a part of this one, and delta theta is a angle subtended for this elementary strip PQ, whereas the theta is the arc of contact between the entire belt drive and the pulley. But in this case, I'm considering one small element PQ. So PQ is a small element, and for this particular element, delta theta is the arc of contact between belt and pulley. Okay, I'm not considering the entire. First, I'm considering small element. Then after going to consider the entire element. Okay, and next, these are the forces. Whenever the system is in equilibrium condition, there are 4 forces are acting. Okay. So first one is T. This is the tension. Okay, acting on the slack side of the belt. Okay, T. You see the whatever the force acting from point P. T is the tension or force acting at point P. Okay. Next. So whenever you are going to take for driver pulley, there will be a little bit force is more, okay, as compared to your loose side. As I said, so the driver pulley draws the belt from the driven pulley, means obviously tight side is having the more tension or force as compared to your loose side. So T is the tension or force acting on the slack side, whereas T plus delta T is your the tension or force acting at the tight side of the belt. First one is T, T plus delta T. Apart from this one, we are having the normal force acting, that is represented by F. Okay, you see the diagram. F is the normal force acting. Okay, next one more is there. Okay, R and mu R. Okay, there will be obviously there will be a coefficient of friction. Okay, that is called as frictional force. One is T acting on the slack side. T plus delta T is acting on the tight side of the element. You remember is only for element PQ. Okay. Next, R is your normal force. Okay. And F is which is acting perpendicular to the normal force, and that is always given by product of mu into R. R is this one normal force, and F is the frictional force that is given by mu into R. Mu is called coefficient of friction. I think you might have studied a coefficient of friction. It usually varies from 0.25 to 0.3. R is normal force and F is frictional force. It is always given by mu into R. Okay, first you have to analyze the forces. Okay, first you draw this circle, next you show the norm this one angle theta. This is called as arc of contact. Why you have to show one is T1 and T2 for tight side and loose side, and after that you have to draw a small element PQ on the belt drive, and just you have to show the force T and T plus delta T and F and R. So these are the 4 forces we are going to consider in a element PQ. Okay. Next, I'm going to resolve the forces horizontally. Okay, what is the horizontal force? You are going to resolve the forces. Okay, horizontal forces. So we are having R, and you have to resolve this force horizontally. How you are going to force? This is your theta. Okay, so when you are taking, you have to take delta theta by 2. We are not taking the entire angle. For this particular triangle, you are going to take delta theta by 2. Then how we are going to resolve? T sine delta theta by 2 plus T plus delta T sine delta theta by 2 is exactly equals to your R. Okay, first you have to resolve the forces horizontally. Okay, T sine delta theta by 2. Okay, this equation you remember, T sine delta theta by 2 plus T plus delta T sine delta theta by 2 equals to R. First time you are going to resolve horizontally, and next time you are going to resolve vertically. Okay, one is horizontal force and one is vertical force. Okay, horizontal force is your R. R equals to T sine delta theta by 2 plus T plus delta T sine delta theta by 2. Don't take delta theta because the entire angle, you have to consider only half angle for a particular triangle. Okay, next, this is the equation. Next, you have to simplify. T sine delta theta by 2 as it is, and just you have to simplify. Okay, T sine delta theta by 2 plus delta T sine delta theta by 2 equals to R. First you have to resolve the forces horizontally. Next, this equation is most important. Then after that, just you are going to expand the term. T sine delta theta by 2 plus T sine delta theta by 2 plus delta T into sine delta theta by 2 equals to R. So you see the diagram, the value of delta theta is very small. Okay, so we can write sine of delta theta by 2 is exactly equals to delta theta by 2. How you consider in case of open belt drive and cross belt drive? While deriving the equation, we consider sine alpha equals to exactly alpha. Same thing here also. Since delta theta by 2 is very small, so we can write sine of delta theta by 2 is simply delta theta by 2. Okay, just you remove sine in this equation, and you can rewrite the equation. For smaller angles, delta sine delta theta by 2 equals to delta theta by 2. Okay, next equation is T into delta theta by 2 plus T into once again delta theta by 2 plus delta T into delta theta by 2 is equals to R. Just you remove the sign here, and then rewrite the equation. T is delta theta by 2 plus T delta theta by 2 plus delta T into delta theta by 2 equals to R. Okay, next 1T and 1T will get 2T. So R equals to 2T into delta theta by 2 plus delta T. So you have to add these two terms. It becomes 2T into delta theta by 2 plus delta T into delta theta by 2. Okay, here 2 and 2 gets cancelled. Okay, and you remember this delta theta and delta T are very small value. We are not going to consider in the equation. Okay, remember delta theta, delta T are very small as compared to T. Okay, hence you have to neglect this second term, and you have to rewrite only the first term. R equals to T into delta theta. You call it as equation number 2. Okay, first you have to resolve the equation horizontally, and then you have to simplify, put sine delta theta by 2 as just delta theta by 2. Then after that you have to neglect the smaller values. So we'll get R equals to T into delta theta. That's it. Okay, and you have to neglect this term because of small in magnitude. Okay, so neglecting this one, you will get R equals to T into delta theta. This one, what, when we'll get this equation when we are going to resolve the forces horizontally. Okay, you call it as equation number 2. Okay, next equation is, okay, and whatever diagram you are seeing in the second diagram, okay, this is the extended form of this diagram. Okay, there's because they have given clearly, one is R, you write R as it is, one is F. Okay, this one F is mu R, and T, okay, you can take T as it is, and then instead of writing delta theta, we are going to split into two parts, delta theta by 2 and delta theta by 2. So this is the angle for subtended element. Okay, this is the entire view, and here we are going to consider PQ. Same thing, we extended. PQ is this one P and Q. Okay, rewriting the diagram, just it is the extended form of your element PQ. First you draw this diagram, and then for understanding better way, so you have to draw this diagram. This one PQ is this PQ, and R, this one is R. F equals to mu R, and then once again you have to draw a vertical line from T and T plus delta T. Once again, whatever angle, this angle delta theta by 2 and this angle are same. Here also delta theta by 2 and delta theta 2 are same. Okay, how we studied in open belt drive, where alpha we consider, here we are considering the delta theta by 2 instead of alpha. That is the meaning. Okay, so this is the extended form of your elementary strip PQ. Okay, so this line is OP, this is O, OT and OQ. Okay, and delta theta you split into two parts, delta theta by 2, delta theta by 2, and here this angle and this angle are same, this angle and this angle are same. Okay, so next we are going to resolve the forces vertically. Okay, how we are going to resolve the forces vertically? What is the vertical force here? One vertical force is frictional force, that is given by mu r. Okay, now you can resolve the forces. Okay, so t cos, okay, this side t cos delta theta by 2 plus mu r equals to t plus delta t cos theta cos delta theta divided by 2. Okay, resolve the force vertically. So first t cos of delta theta by 2 plus mu r, that is frictional force, is equals to your t plus delta t into cos of delta theta divided by 2. So in resolving the forces horizontally, we took sine. Here you are going to take cosine. Okay, so t cos delta theta by 2 plus mu r equals to t plus delta t cos of delta theta divided by 2. Okay, just you resolve the forces and next you have to simplify. Okay, so next you write the left hand side equation as it is, t cos delta theta by 2 plus mu r equals to, just you have to expand this term, t into cos delta theta by 2 plus delta t into cos of delta theta divided by 2. Just you have to expand this term. Okay, next here in this equation, this t cos delta theta by 2 and t cos delta theta by 2 gets cancelled. Okay, so because it is same magnitude, and whatever equation you are getting is mu r equals to delta t into cos delta theta divided by 2, because the first term in LHS and RHS gets cancelled. Okay, t cos delta theta by 2 and t cos delta theta by 2 gets cancelled. We are getting mu r equals to delta theta into cos delta theta divided by 2. Okay, and one more thing, as I said, the magnitude of delta theta is very small, so hence it will be approximately equals to 0. Already you know cos 0 equals to 1. Okay, so whenever substitute the value of cos 0 equals to 1, then we are getting mu r equals to delta theta delta t, that's it. Okay, so because cos 0 is 1, the angle of delta theta is negligible, almost you consider it as 0 only. So when cos 0 is 1. Okay, so mu r equals to delta t, because this term is 1, cos 0 is 1, mu r equals to delta t. Okay, from this equation just you find out what is the value of r. R equals to delta t divided by mu. Okay, you remember R is your frictional resisting force. Okay, and mu is coefficient of friction. Okay, next what equation we got? R equals to delta t divided by mu. Okay, you call it as equation number 4. Then what we got in equation number 2? Okay, go for equation number 2. We got equation number 2 as R equals to delta t into delta theta. What we are getting the value when we resolve the force horizontally? R equals to t into delta theta, and here we are getting the R equals to delta t divided by mu. Okay, LHS are same. Now you have to equate RHS term. Okay, so LHS and RHS, so you have to equate the RHS term. Okay, so R equals to t into delta theta from equation number 2, and R equals to delta t divided by mu. Okay, now we have to equate the equations 2 and 4. So t into delta theta equals to delta t divided by mu. Okay, next I'm taking this t as the denominator, delta t divided by t equals to mu into delta theta. Just you cross multiply, you take t as the denominator and then you take mu as the numerator. Delta t divided by t equals to mu into delta theta. Now, so how we are getting this equation? By considering the small element pq. But for whole the element, what you are going to do? Okay, for whole element. Now in this case, I consider one element, but our aim is to find out the what is the ratio of belt tension for the entire belt drive. Okay, in that case, what you are going to do? You are going to integrate the equation between the limits t2 to t1. Okay, so because it is coming, so t2 to t1. Okay, integrate that equation between the limits t2 to t1 for the entire belt drive. Okay, so this is what equation we got only for small element pq, such that we're having so many elements. In order to get the ratio of belt tension, we are going to integrate this equation between the limits t2 to t1. That is integration of dt by t between the limits t2 to t1. And what about right hand side? Integration of mu delta theta between the limits 0 and theta. You remember LHS, you have to integrate between the limits t2 to t1, whereas the RHS you have to integrate between the limits 0 to theta. Okay, so after integrating, you are getting the equation as log to the base. You remember it is not log to the base 10. You are getting it as natural logarithm. Okay, you have to mention log e or ln, both are same. Okay, ln of t1 by t2 after integrating equals to this, the integration of mu delta theta between the limits 0 to theta is just mu into theta. Okay, so or whenever you're taking the NT log, so you are going to get the equation as t1 by t2 equals to e to the power of mu theta. Okay, so here you are getting ln t1 by t2 equals to mu theta. So when you take NT log, so you'll get t1 by t2 equals to e to the power of mu theta. So this equation is called as the ratio of belt tension in case of open belt drive, where T1 is the tension or force acting on the tight side of the belt, and T2 is the tension acting on the slack side of the belt, e to the power of mu theta. Okay, mu is what? The coefficient of friction. It usually varies from 0.25 to 0.3, and theta is arc of contact between the belt and pulley. Okay, so this is the important derivation. Sometimes they used to ask this derivation in the exam. Okay, so any doubts in this equation, guys? Okay, are you facing any difficulty in this derivation? Dhara? Chaya? Okay. Chaya? Okay. Vaidyanathan?
So when will they give us the timetable for internals?
I will get shortly. Okay, as soon as they'll this one intimate, I will inform you. Okay, but the test starts from this one 2, 3, 4. You are having 3 days.
Yes, okay.
Okay, and one more thing, this regarding our elements of mechanical engineering, you are having 2 models. First 2 models for first test. Okay, mainly of objective type. Okay, MCQ. Okay, multiple choice question based type. So mostly 30 questions will be there. Okay, for this one. So you study all the energy resources: renewable, non-renewable, solar energy, hydel energy, then alternative fuels. Okay, global warming. Next, you have to study the turbines. Okay, mainly that hydraulic turbines, Pelton, Francis, Kaplan, and 2 pumps. Okay, up to this one, reciprocating pump and centrifugal pump. Okay. Do you have any queries in those modules? Okay, understood both the chapters. Okay. Okay. Uh, how about this derivation? You understood this derivation, whatever derivation I did in today's class? Okay. Okay. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power of mu theta. Okay. So T1 is belt tension in the tight side, and T2 is the tension in the slack side. E to the power of mu theta. Mu is coefficient of friction, and theta is arc of contact between the belt drive and pulley. Okay. Now I'll give the formula for this theta. Okay, but don't take same theta for both the drives. You have to consider the different values for different belt drive. Okay, just now I derived the expression for T1 by T2 equals to e to the power of mu theta. So in the, suppose if they give the open belt drive, then what is the value of your belt drive? Okay, so for open belt drive, always you have to consider this formula. Remember, whenever they ask find out angle of contact for open belt drive, this is the formula: theta equals to 180 minus 2 sine inverse R1 minus R2 divided by C into pi by 180 radians. Okay, you have to express in terms of radians, and whatever this formula is gives the arc of contact theta for open belt drive 180 minus 2 sine inverse R1 minus R2. What is R1? It is a radius of bigger pulley, and R2 is the radius of smaller pulley, and C is what? Center distance. Okay, so whenever you're going to convert from degree to radians, multiply by pi by 180. Remember, this is the formula for angle of contact in e to the power of mu theta. So whatever T1 by T2 is, this is the ratio of belt tension. Sometimes it may be open belt drive or cross belt drive, but depending upon that one, you have to find out the theta. Theta is 180 minus 2 sine inverse R1 minus R2 divided by C into pi by 180 radians. And for cross belt drive, just you change the sign. Okay, instead of minus, just you take here we are taking minus, here just you have to take it as plus. Okay, so theta equals to 180 plus 2 sine inverse into R1 plus R2 divided by C. Here you have to change the sign. Here it is minus is there. Here you have to take plus for cross belt drive. Okay, so R1 minus R2, you have to take R1 plus R2, and remaining is same, 180 plus 2 sine inverse into R1 plus R2 divided by C into pi by 180 radians. So these are the important derivation in belt drive. Okay, so whatever the derivation we did, okay, I'll recall once again. Okay, we studied the open belt drive, length of open belt drive. I derived the derivation. Okay, and what equation you are getting, you have to remember that value. Okay, so this is the formula for the length of open belt drive: 2C into pi into R1 plus R2 plus R1 minus R2 square divided by C. This is the formula for length of open belt drive. In yesterday's class, I derived the length of cross belt drive. Okay, in yesterday class, I derived the derivation, and what equation you are getting, that is L equals to 2C plus pi into R1 plus R2 plus R1 plus R2 whole square divided by C. So in case of open belt drive, you are getting R1 minus R2. Here you are getting R1 plus R2. One more equation you have to remember, that is velocity ratio, that is N2 by N1 equals to D1 by D2. N2 is speed of driven pulley, N1 is speed of driver pulley. As I said, velocity ratio is always inversely proportional to the diameter. You see, N2 is inversely proportional to D2, N1 is inversely proportional to your D1. This is one formula. Okay, and today one more formula we did. Okay, and one more formula power transmitted in the belt drive. Okay, remember this formula. F equals to T1 minus D2 divided by 1000 kilonewton. This is the force, driving force. T1 is tension in the tight side. T2 is tension in the loose side. Okay. In order to calculate your power transmitted, just multiply by linear velocity. Power is force into linear velocity. Okay. So force is what? This formula. And velocity, remember, pi dn divided by 60. It may be pi d1 n1 divided by 60 or pi d2 n2 by 60, where n1 is the speed of driver and n2 is the speed of driven. You remember 1 and 2 indicates driver and driven pulley respectively. We are representing 1 always with the driver pulley, and today I derived this derivation, that is T1 by T2 equals to e to the power of mu theta. Okay, so these are the formula and derivation you have to remember, because most important, for every time they used to ask definitely one derivation. Okay, now I'll do a simple problem on how to find out the length of open belt drive or cross belt drive. Okay, one problem. Okay. So problem number 1. So in a belt drive, very simple problem. In belt drive, velocity ratio is 3. Velocity ratio means what? N2 by N1. The driving pulley runs at 400 RPM. The diameter of driven pulley is 300 RPM. Means D1 is 400 and D2 is your 300. Find the speed of driven pulley. Okay. Find the speed means what? You are going to find out in terms of revolutions per minute and diameter of driving pulley. Okay. So first thing is you have to write the given data. Velocity ratio N2 by N1 is 3. Driving pulley runs at 400 RPM, means it is N1 is given 400 RPM. So the diameter of driven pulley, that is D2. Okay. You see the a table here, whatever given data is put it in the table. N1 is 400 RPM is given, and D1, our aim is to find out what is the diameter of driving pulley. N2 means what? We are going to find out the speed of driven pulley. N2 we don't know. Okay, and D2, diameter of driven pulley is given 300 mm. And one more thing, you have to convert in meters. For this one, 300 by 1000, you'll get 0.3 meter. Then how we are going to find out this value means just you put N2 by N1 equals to 3. And N2 we don't know. N1 is given 400 RPM. So N2 is 400 into 3000 RPM. You remember the speed of driver pulley is low, whereas speed of driven pulley is higher. Here in this case, it is 3 times greater than that of your driver pulley. Very simple formula. N2 by N1 is 3. N2 is unknown thing, divided by 400 equals to 3. So N2 is 1200 RPM. Next aim is how to find out your diameter 1, that is diameter of driving pulley. N2 by N1 equals to D1 by D2. We know all the things. Okay, N2 we know, N1 we know, and D1 we know, D2 we know, and D1 is unknown thing. So N2 by N1 equals to D1 by D2. This, remember, it's a very simple formula. Velocity is inversely proportional to the diameter. Okay. N2 by N1 is D1 by D2. So our aim is to find out D1. So D1 equals to N2 D2 divided by N1. What is N2? N2 just now we calculated it as 1200 RPM into D2 is your 0.3. D2 is 0.3. Okay, don't express in mm, you convert in meter. 300 by 1000. Okay, 1200 into 0.3 divided by your 400. So the diameter of driving pulley is 0.9 meter or multiply by 1000, you'll get 900 mm. Okay, so remember the speed of driven pulley is more than that of your driving pulley. On the other hand, diameter of driving pulley is more than that of your driven pulley. So inversely proportional to the diameter. As diameter increases, speed decreases. As the diameter decreases, speed increases. Okay, this is one a simple formula. Okay, like that we can find out any formula. Next, I am going to explain one problem to find out the length. Okay, we derived that derivation how to find out the length of the belt drive. Okay, one problem I'll take. Okay, okay. So here this is the problem. Okay, so they are given two pulleys of 50 centimeter and 25 centimeter coupled by a belt drive. If the distance between their axes is 1.5 meter, find out the lengths of belt for open belt drive and cross belt drive. Okay, so what equation we derived in previous classes, same formula you are going to apply here. Okay, two pulleys of 50 centimeter. 50 centimeter means what? It is a bigger pulley. What is bigger pulley? It is driving pulley. So D1 is 50 centimeter and divided by 100. Okay, you'll get 0.5 meter. Okay, and you have to find out radius because we are having radius in the formula, half of this one, that is 0.25 meter. Then diameter of smaller pulley is 25 centimeter or 0.25 meter. Remember all the things you have to express in SI units. Okay, don't put it in the centimeter. 25 divided by 100, you'll get 0.25 meter and radius as half of this one, 0.125 meter. Okay, center distance given 1.5 meter. Okay, for first case. Okay, what is the formula for length of open belt drive? L equals to 2c plus pi into r1 plus r2 plus r1 minus r2 whole square divided by c. Just you remember this formula, substitute the value, very simple formula. 2 into c, c is 1.5 meter plus pi constant into r1 plus r2, r1 is 0.25, R2 is 0.125 plus R1 minus R2 whole square, 0.25 minus 0.125 square divided by 1.5. So after simplification, we are getting the length of open belt drive as 4.18 meter. Okay, then how to find out the length of cross belt drive? Okay, just you change, instead of minus, just you take plus and remaining parameter as it is. Okay, L equals to 2c plus pi into R1 plus R2 plus R1, instead of minus just you take plus, substitute all the values. 2 into c, c means what? Center distance. 2 into 1.5 plus pi into 0.25 plus 0.125 plus 0.25 plus 125. Remember these are in meter, don't express in centimeter, divided by 1.5. So after solving this one, we are getting 4.271 meter. Now you compare both the values. Okay, so the length of open belt drive is 4.188 meter. The length of cross belt drive is 4.27 meter. So when you arrange the belt in cross position, the length required will be more. You remember, because we are having the plus sign in the equation. Okay, in first case we are getting 4.18 meter and in the second case we are getting 4.271 meter. So the length of cross belt will be more as compared to the length of open belt drive. Okay, this is a very simple formula. And one more important problem I'll do. Okay, some tell me any doubts. So you have to practice problems very well, because every time they used to ask numericals in the belt drive. We are having numericals in first chapter, that is properties of steam. We are having numericals in IC engines, and we are having numericals in model 4. Okay. This problem is most important problem. Okay, the sum of diameter of two pulleys is 1000 mm. In the previous problem, they have given the diameter separately, but in this problem, sum of diameter of two pulleys means D1 plus D2 is given, and the pulleys are connected by means of belt drive. If the pulleys rotate at 600 rpm and 1800 rpm, find out the diameter of pulley. Such kind of problems you'll get in the examination. Okay, so now first you have to write sum of diameter of two pulleys, that is D1 plus D2 equals to 1000 mm. Okay, now the pulleys rotates. I'm taking the N1 because I say driver pulley rotates at low speed. N1 is 600 rpm and N2 is 1800 rpm. In this case, you are going to find out the diameter of the pulley. And how to find out diameter? Very simple. And summation of two diameter of summation is 1000 mm, and you have to convert in meter. 1000 mm equals to 1 meter. So D1 plus D2 equals to 1. N1 is 600 rpm and N2 is 1800 rpm. By knowing all this one, you have to find out what is D1 and what is D2. Okay, so then same equation I said, you have to use this simple formula. N2 by N1 equals to D1 by D2. N2 means what? Speed of driven, it will be higher. 1800, it is given in the problem. Divided by N1 means what? It is 600 given in the problem. And how about D1? D1 plus D2 equals to 1 meter. So D2 will be D1 will be 1 minus D2, because we are not, it is very difficult to find out both the parameters at a time. You have to express D1 in terms of D2. So D1 plus D2 equals to 1000 mm or 1 meter. So D1 equals to 1 minus of D2. Just you substitute that value here, 1 minus D2 divided by D2. Now you have to simplify, cross multiply. 1800 D2 equals to 1 minus D2 into 600. Okay, after simplifying this equation, we are getting D2 as 0.25 meter or your 250 mm. Very simple equation. So you have to simplify this equation and find out the value of D2. And what about D1? D1 plus D2 equals to 1 meter. You got the value of D2 as 0.25 meter. So obviously D1 will be 0.75 meter. Okay, or 750 mm. So you are getting D1 as 750 mm and D2 as 250 mm, or 0.75 meter and 0.25 meter respectively. Okay, so This is the thing. Okay. For speed increase, this is how to find out the value of D1 and D2. Okay. So such kind of problem they'll ask in the examination. Okay. So understood the problem, guys? Okay. Whatever problem I explained in the class. Okay. 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 Today I'll discuss a few more problems, because problems are most important. Just you write down the formula and go through that formula. Okay. Then you have to remember the appropriate data and you have to substitute. Okay. So I'll stop the session here only. Thank you one and all for joining this class. Okay.